Red Dirt Cryptid Investigations, land, sea, and air attack.
You don't watch for one.
Watch those sticks there, bitch.
Cut that one out.
The North Canadian is really up right now. I've been over here before, and it'd be so low during the summertime and the fall that you would have to drag those boats through there.
Little did we know that this trip was fixing to take a dangerous turn. We came across the site here, and this looks like they just had to up and leave. All their stuff's here. Battery right there, and coolers, chairs, tent. Whatever they did, they left in a hurry. Got their clothes. I'm over here looking at these clothes. Off over that way, I can hear something walking. Phone, I'm sure, but that we've been spooking up along the way too. But when they run through there, it's like they're tearing the forest down and splashing and crunching, and the sound I'm hearing over here is just kind of a walk, slow, like it's just getting out of here. Can't hear anymore. Shortly after these photos were taken, the river seemed to widen out into a giant swamp of sorts. This is where the guys got into trouble. The guys found themselves in perhaps 1,500 acres of some type of Okefenokee type swamp. Most of the time they were dragging their kayaks, and some of the time they were trying to swim through the mud, knee-deep mud. It was very precarious. They soon found themselves getting close to dark.
Well, it looks like the name of this episode is going to be When Squatching Goes Wrong. Yesterday, we kind of had some stuff go haywire. Two of our team members were planning on going down the North Canadian River, and we had a entry point and an exit point. Both of them looked like
standard issue rivers. You know, it was only like, 12, 15, 20 foot wide at the most. And we thought that they were gonna, the current was moving, and I thought, they'll be over there, on the water 2 or 3 hours. Problem was is they got about a mile down the river, and they, I guess it went into this big flood basin. I don't know all the fancy geological terms, but basically the area that they went into became flooded, and it was a flooded forest, and they lost the channel. They couldn't find the channel, or the channel disappeared on them. I don't know which, but they got lost, and they got into an area that was it was too shallow. They were dragging their kayaks through the water that was about 3-4 inches deep, walking through the mud. I guess it was sinking up to their knees, and long story short, they ended up spending the night. We couldn't figure out where they were at for a long time. We're talking about probably well over 1,000 acres of swamp that's kind of like the Okefenokee or something. It's ridiculous. I went around honking my horn, shooting my pistol. We were trying to triangulate their position so they could find a way out. Every way that they found to get out ended up being a dead end that was, really deep water. I guess they felt they had to ditch their kayaks, and now the water that they're surrounded by is really deep, and we've got the game rangers involved, wildlife biologists. Those guys are freaking rock stars. Found out from one of the game rangers, apparently people do this a lot and get stranded out there. They found, luckily for them, they were prepared. They had water, fire starting material. I think they even had some snacks. So they had it all in a dry bag. So they found an area that was some high ground out in the middle of the swamp, and they built the fire and they spent the night out there. Yeah, it was not good. Anyway, the game rangers have their plan. We have our plan. I went home. I don't know if you can see it back there. I got a 17-foot aluminum canoe that will basically float in about 3 inches of water. Got the trolling motors. We're going to put that in at the exit point, and we're going to head upriver into the bog carefully and not get lost. And we're going to stay in the channel, try to get these guys out. It's a mess. I think we've even got the game rangers scratching their head. Didn't really see this one coming. This is the kind of stuff that can happen. It's a little too early in the year for, it's really nice outside, but the water is still real cold. So hypothermia is a real danger. It's lucky the guys were prepared. But the sun's coming up. I left for Enid at 5:30 in the morning to go get the canoe. And I'm about halfway back, just driving and thinking. So maybe this video will turn into something that's educational. So we may even end up reevaluating our techniques. We're going out in the field. I don't know. But I'm ready to get those guys collected, get our stuff packed up, go home and get some sleep, get some food in me. Yeah, it's been a mess. I'll get back with you and let you know how it goes. And the game rangers saw my canoe and decided they needed to borrow it. LOL.
Trying to get to them. They're over there somewhere. The guys are over there with the boat. It's a mess. Jeez.
Here is a rough guesstimate of where the guys were actually located at. After we found that that one particular area was not going to be able to work for us, we spent a lot of time looking for other areas from which we could launch a small boat. It's what we used to call a Jesus tree. While I was out in the woods walking around looking for a possible path to get to the guys, I think I had a visitor. The story had a happy ending. We ended up recovering the guys. Thank goodness they were prepared for their overnight vigil. They were able to make a fire and stay awake during the night despite how cold it was and windy. They survived very well because they were prepared. I'm sorry we didn't have any more video footage. We were so tired and exhausted from lack of sleep. Lesson of the day: if you go in the woods, be prepared.